a leadership role expected of him, and sophomore forward Isaiah Victor is developing into one of the marquee players Tennessee fans had hoped for. For South Carolina, another chance to be a spoiler. It's a must-win for Tennessee as they face South Carolina. In Columbia, but some of the pain can be eased today if the Gamecocks could muster an upset against the Tennessee Volunteers. Big game for Tennessee today because of the SEC East standings. Kentucky is getting beat today at Arkansas. If the Volunteers win, they're in first place in the SEC East. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Carolina Coliseum. Bob Kessling along with Larry Conley as today Carolina tries to come off the bat against a Tennessee team, Larry, is playing very well.
They really are, Bob, and this is a club right in the midst of a three-game road trip. They got the first one against Ole Miss the other night. They need this one against South Carolina. Of course, the two big games at Georgia next week and then Kentucky and Knoxville.
And Tennessee's getting great play from the guards, and Brandon Wharton's on fire.
Yeah, he's the guy that's really carrying them right now. 25 points the other night in the second half against Ole Miss. Carried the load, but he's been doing that in his whole career in Tennessee. A great guard combo with Tony Harris.
South Carolina, of course, nobody's really stepped up except B.J. Mackey. He's having an all-star career, just not a lot of help.
Yeah, he's had that target on his back all year long. A lot of special defenses thrown at him. He has still been able to maintain that scoring average. In fact, within the SEC games, he is the #1 scorer in this league.
So B.J. Mackey hopes to get some guys to step up today to help him. Meanwhile, this South Carolina team is trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. You see the word from Bud Walton Arena just over. Arkansas has knocked off Kentucky 74-70. Tennessee will know that when they take the court today against Carolina. A win gets them into first place in the SEC East. We'll have the lineups when we come back to Columbia in just a moment. 7, 9-4 in the SEC against South Carolina, 7-8, 2-11 in the conference, and the Gamecocks have lost 5 straight at 16 of 19. In the starting lineups, first of all, for the visiting Tennessee Volunteers, the 17-year-old freshman Vincent Yarborough, one forward, C.J. Black, third in field goal percentage in the conference at the other. Torrey Harris, the defensive stalwart in the middle, and Tony Harris in the backcourt had 21 points in the first game against South Carolina. Brandon Wharton, 25 points in the second half the other night against Ole Miss. And now the starting lineup for this will be break number 2 for our stations. We'll have the tip-off when we come back to Columbia after these messages. Loss. Kentucky just suffered at Arkansas. Drops the Cats to 10-4. A win today for Tennessee pulls them into a first-place tie. And, of course, Tennessee has the advantage because they won already against the Wildcats in Lexington. And they meet again coming up a week from tomorrow in Knoxville. Series record dead even, 15 all in Columbia. The Gamecocks lead 9-3. Last year they beat Tennessee here 81-51. And a beating earlier this season in Knoxville. Tennessee won that contest against the Gamecocks 86-57. The officials for today's game. Lead official will be Don Rutledge, Andre Patillo, and Tom O'Neill. Good officiating crew for this one today. Larry, we did that first game, Tennessee against South Carolina. That was Brandon Wharton's coming out party.
It was indeed. It was about as good a game as he's had shooting up until that point, probably until the Ole Miss game the other night. Eddie Fogler right now looking on. His club has struggled so much this year. Career against the Volunteers, you can see they're 14-6. It's been awfully good. Just disappointing this year.
Jerry Green led Tennessee to the NCAA tournament last year in his first season. Most people think that win at Ole Miss the other night gets his team in the NCAA tournament again this year. And now they're playing for a divisional championship. But there's Brandon Wharton who's coming on strong.
Robin, I want to tell you, I think that win by Arkansas over Kentucky today got the Razorbacks into the tournament too. So it looks like the SEC is pretty well locked into 5. Can they get 6? I think the other one is going to be between Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And guess what? They play tonight.
That's right. Arkansas at that win now has 19 on the season. Opening tap controlled by Torrey Harris. Now to Brandon Wharton. He comes out firing. No good. Gallman gets the rebound for the Gamecocks. Larry, an interesting matchup. How will Tennessee defend B.J. Mackey?
Well, that's probably a little bit of a junk defense right now. Brandon Wharton's on him straight up man-to-man. But he'll be getting a lot of help, I'm sure, from his Volunteer teammates.
Mackey had 16 in the first game in Knoxville, averaging 17 points per game. Just over 18 in SEC competition.
See Wharton looking for screens the whole time that Mackey's got the ball. They set a lot of screens for him.
Shot clock is down to 5 on the first possession. Lucas over Harris. Front ribs it, and the rebound controlled by Gallman, and Carolina gets a fresh shot clock.
It was some kind of rebound. He actually was blocked out pretty well that time on the inside by Torrey Harris.
Mackey at Wharton got a piece of that one, but the loose ball is picked up by Bud Johnson.
They reset the shot clock, Bob, and there was a mistake. The ball did not hit the rim, and none of the officials have caught it yet.
Grant open. That one's too strong. Gallman that time got caught going over the back of Torrey Harris, and Gallman picks up the foul. One thing Harris does, he will box you out.
I'll tell you, Harris did a nice job on both of those occasions. The ball got to him quickly on that first go-around over his head, and Gallman was able to grab it that time. Harris kept him away.
So both teams misfire early. Tennessee has had a habit of falling behind and having to rally. Against Ole Miss, fell behind by 14 and then rallied to win. They'd like to get off to a good start today here against the Gamecocks.
Pretty good matchup on both ends with Mackey and Wharton now guarding each other.
C.J. Black double team gives to Vincent Yarborough. Missed it, and Lucas rebounds. Mackey against Tony Harris. Off balance, short. Harris did a pretty good job defensively.
Did he ever?
Didn't draw the foul, and now Tennessee the other way. Wharton head fakes. Dump it off. Harris walks. Harris not. We've got 2 minutes, and we're shooting blanks here in Columbia.
Still the man-to-man defense by the Volunteers. Wharton watching Mackey.
Mackey down the lane, kicks it off to Gallman. This has been the problem all year for South Carolina. Somebody who's going to pull the trigger. Mackey, he's open. He'll do it.
Bob, what a year this young man has had. He just foregoes the NBA from last year, decides to come back and play another year at South Carolina. He's had a stellar year, just his club has not.
And the Gamecocks get the first basket of the game. It's 3-0. Yarborough, he's a good shooter from there, not that time, and the white shirts box him out. Gallman gets the rebound, now to Mackey. They had a chance to spend a lot of time with BJ yesterday afternoon, and he was talking about this team. Although they have not played that well, they've really hung together, and the confidence is there. But there is a blunder, and Wharton goes in. And Lucas blocks it away from behind.
That guy on camera guy. That's got to be a charge against the camera guy.
Let's say make sure.
A charge against our guy.
I think that Brandon he kept B.J. Mackey in his vision. I don't think he ever saw Lucas.
Well, Lucas really sprinted quickly to the other end as the Gamecocks go to a zone.
Good hustle play by Carolina. Still Tennessee scoreless. Over 3 minutes have gone by. And Johnson knocks it away. Lucas can't get it. Yarborough gives it to Wharton with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Wharton making a move on Grant. Dumps it down low. C.J. Black, that's blocked away. And Yarborough gets it, but the shot clock goes off. What brilliant defense by South Carolina. Basketball. Johnson in the lane, and Carolina leads at 5-0. First bucket for Bud Johnson from right here in Columbia. And South Carolina takes a 5-0 lead. Tennessee 0 for 5 to start things. Harris, he goes up in the air, and that's a travel.
Yep. That's a good
5-0 against Tennessee. And you see the score from Fayetteville today. Arkansas win over the Wildcats. And Georgia holds off LSU 59-57. Arkansas 2 of 6 to start things. Tennessee 0 for 5 from the field.
South Carolina trying to maneuver around that outside of that Tennessee defense.
Lucas stripped away by Tony Harris. And so Carolina will get it back with 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Have an interesting substitution there. Eddie Fogler took Mackey.
Tennessee will play 9-10 guys. In fact, they have 9 players averaging double figures in minutes played. And of course, without today, Aaron Green, who has missed the past couple of games with that thigh situation, had an operation on it. And so he is back home in Knoxville watching.
You know, Bob, for the second time now, Grant has handled the basketball and just lost it out of bounds. Eddie Fogler is going to ask him to come over and sit on the bench for a while and say, look, give the ball to the guards. Both of those situations were unforced errors.
And when you struggle scoring points, you can't give the opposition the basketball. Rashard Lee hits. That's the first bucket for Tennessee in the game.
Good pass by Tony Harris. Good recognition of the guy in the corner, wide open.
Lee has been able to give Tennessee at times instant offense off that bench, and hitting that first one's a good sign for him. Mackey and Tony Harris out front.
Tennessee's extended their man-to-man defense. Now Harris has got Mackey.
Herbert Lee Davis now into the game as well. And Kinlaw.
Lee got his body squared up, and when that happens, usually it goes in.
He's from the Carolinas, North Carolina, out of the Durham area.
I was looking at the lineups today. Didn't both clubs start players from their respective states? Tennessee had 5. South Carolina had all 5 of theirs from the
Well,
same.
Torrey Harris is from Mississippi.
That's right. Harris
Hathaway was in the original starting lineup, and Harris is from Sardis, Mississippi. But
how often do you see that?
now, homegrown products. But Tennessee has started 5 from Tennessee this year. Ross can't get the bounce, goes up again, and gets it that time.
Did he get that ball up over Black inside?
7-3, good effort that time by the sophomore out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Brandon Wharton trying to get on track. Now Davis will try and check him. Lee again for 3. That's way short. Torrey Harris saved it, but he was standing out of bounds. 2.5 points a game. Tennessee now 1 of 7 from the field to begin things. They've scored 1 basket in 6 minutes plus now.
Mackey wants to wave everybody off and take that pick and roll.
Mackey finds the seam to the basket.
Well, Harris gave up a little bit. He got right to the elbow there, and when he did, Mackey put one more step and a quick move on him, and he was by him. No help from the Volunteers.
Mackey's running mate Melvin Watson back in town said he saw him yesterday. Melvin, of course, great player at South Carolina, tried to make it in the NBA. Didn't quite make the Hornets this year. He's going to try again, but kind of inspired BJ to see his own running mate in town yesterday again.
Well, that gives you some indication of how tough it is to make the NBA, particularly with a guy like him. I mean, he is so good. Look at Wharton with that move. He got by Mackey. 2 excellent moves down the lane.
That's the first bucket for Brandon Wharton, and it's 9-5. South Carolina. Carolina basically has got no inside game at all this year, and they've relied so much on the guards, and Larry, that's tough to do.
It is indeed. If they could just get 10 to 12 points from their front court, they'd be in great shape, but they can't get that. Watch Mackey work. He lost it.
Rashard Lee, he lost it. Lee thought about it, decided better. Wharton. That's way off the mark, right to Hathaway. And now a foul, a holding foul on Davis as he grabbed Rashard Lee. With 5 points, 5 of Carolina's 9. And now Tennessee recycling everything as Vegas Davis comes into the game and Tony Harris sits down. There's Vegas. Depth. Tennessee will wear you down. But Tennessee trailing in this game by 4.
South Carolina looks like they're in a 1-3-1 zone. Trying to match up a little bit out of this.
Isaiah Victor into the game, dumping down low to Hathaway, but Mackey there from the backside. That's a 4th turnover by Tennessee. Skip pass to Lucas. Lucas takes it inside, now out to Ross. There, it's almost like they don't look to score.
No, they don't. I mean, they're always looking for Mackey. If they can get into that lane area and draw the defense, then they'll drop it off to somebody. But Tennessee's very adept at making those recoveries and rotating.
Working the perimeter, working the shot clock. It's inside 10. Lucas kicks it off to Ross. Pumps up, thought he'd draw the foul, and he'll try another one. He got that one. Ross has 3, and South Carolina's lead is 5. 11:40 to go the first half. Gamecocks leading the Volunteers. Falls honored. Eddie Fogler gave him an autographed basketball. He's been doing Tennessee basketball now for some 35 years. One of his key games, key calls, was back here in 1970 when Carolina was #1 and Tennessee came in here and upset the Gamecocks 55-54. He'll be missed. John Ward calling the game. Let's pick up the voice of the Vols. Well, we'll get to John in a moment. Let's go inside to Charles Hathaway, and he traveled with it. The ball goes. And now there's a whistle away from the ball. And an illegal pick is going to be called on South Carolina down low.
I think Gallman picked it up.
It is foul on Gallman. Let's go to John Ward now.
The third foul on Carolina. Tennessee has had one foul called against it. Wharton brings the ball in front court, still looking for a field goal. Davis. Tennessee wants to work the ball inside against this zone. That's not going to happen. But instead, Richard Lee drives and scores. That's the way to go inside. Don't.
Good move by Richard Lee. Good call by John Ward. 10-7 now the score.
They did work it inside and worked it well.
He called it right, didn't he? Carolina now. Hagen Rouse into the game. Rouse just announced yesterday that he's not going to return for his senior season. He's graduating, so he's going to get on with life.
It's kind of an interesting comment he had to say. He says, you know, I don't want to spend all that off season trying to get in shape to come back for next year. He says, I've got limited playing time, and that's not the reason I'm leaving. I just think it's time to get on with my life.
Lucas, too strong, and there are the orange shirts underneath. Vincent Yarbrough gets it out to Brandon Wharton. A three would tie it. Wharton pulls up short. No good. Battle on the boards. Richard Lee gets fouled. He's made some things happen since he came off the bench. And Richard Lee will go to the line.
Oh, that's a very valuable commodity to have a guy like Richard Lee that you can reach down here and pull off the bench and know you're going to get 6 to 10 points from him, 3 to 4 rebounds. And he's come in and contributed greatly here in the first half for the Volunteers.
And Richard Lee goes to the line.
Yeah, a little slumber party for all of my 500 favorite friends in TV.
Richard Lee gets them both. He's had a good first half. And Lee now sits down. And Vincent Yarbrough back in.
That'll be a great tournament. I hope everybody makes some plans to come out to see it. See a great team in Auburn, a Kentucky and Arkansas team, and a Florida team right there poised to show their wares, I think, in the NCAA tournament.
Roush from the corner hits a three-pointer. That's his 14th three-pointer of the year and gives Carolina a 4-point lead, 13-9.
South Carolina trying to go to a little bit of a half-court trap. Mackey's got Harris out front. Harris has been very quiet here so far in the first half.
Hasn't scored. Low-scoring game, as a matter of fact. Richard Lee has 7 of Tennessee's 9 points. Hathaway going up, the ball stripped away. Good defense. Down low by Johnson. 6th turnover for Tennessee. Grant to the basket. Lost it going up. Good strip by Tennessee. Victor comes up with it.
Another turnover by Grant. He really had nowhere to go inside. His third so far in the first half.
Del Baker misses, and then he fouls trying to get the rebound. And only its third SEC game of the year, and leading here by 4. We're 11 minutes in, first half.
Good screen down inside to free Roush.
Roush, good look. Lost it again going in. But Grant picks it up. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
He's got to go up with it.
Kinlock finally does. No good. Who's got it? Grant battling, and he's going to be pushed by C.J. Black.
Johnson having a hard time finding somebody. You got to go help a guy. Well, he's got the basketball, can't find anyone. Go get it from him.
Mackey trying to break down Harris. Roush outside. Hit. That one came out on him. There's Antonio Grant, though. Carolina's out hustling Tennessee in the first half to loose balls.
2 good plays by Grant to go get those. Well, look at Harris staying with Mackey.
That's a good battle. Mackey forced it, missed it. Black rebounds.
Good defensive work that time by Tony Harris. He was with Mackey every step of the way.
Carolina not lighting them up either. 5 of 15 from the field here in the first half. Victor, strong move off the glass.
I say it with a nice turn to the inside. Boy, has he been a terrific player for Tennessee this year.
He gets better and better. It's a 2-point game. Carolina still in front. South Carolina jumped to a 5-0 lead, and Tennessee's been trying to play catch-up ever since. Victor went for the steal. Kinlock. He's in the lane. Got to shoot it over Black. No good. Long rebound goes up to Rouse. That didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock is still winding down. It's at 3. Grant knew it, missed the shot, and Tennessee's now got a chance to tie or take the lead. Not a very good trip for South Carolina that time.
Gamecock still at 2-3. Good trap by Johnson, but he left Yarbrough open.
Nope, Bud Johnson rebounds.
Boy, the shooting is terrible here in the first half for both teams.
Tennessee 4 of 15. Carolina 5 of 17. Mackey working against Harris, but he lost it on that double team. There you see the three-point shooting. Mackey going in, a hand check. Going to be on Tony Harris.
Volunteers 4 of 15 for 27%. South Carolina 5 of 17 for a blistering 29%.
Carolina has 6 of its 13 off the bench.
Shooting's got to get better for both of these clubs.
Kinlock stripped inside, and there's Tony Harris on a run out. And Davis blocks it out of bounds.
Two good defensive plays. C.J. Black with a slap away down on the other end got Tennessee the basketball. Watch this work. Now Harris is going to push it to the other end, but watch the block come from the backside. He's looking, and Davis with a nice rejection.
It's a 2-point game. See the blocks. Today, Carolina out blocking the leading shot blocking team in the SEC. Victor on the baseline, traveled with it. 7 turnovers in the.
And there's you take a look at the turnovers.
They're double teaming along that baseline. I think that surprised Tennessee a couple of times to see the trap coming from the backside. Gallman.
He's a double team by Tennessee.
Davis open. And drills a 3. And now the lead goes up to 5. 16-11. That's the third three-pointer of the first half for the Gamecocks.
South Carolina's changed their defense again. Now they've gone to a man-to-man. Good screen by Black out front.
Victor. Good dish inside, and Black, a hard foul by Mackey. Saved a slam, perhaps. First foul on BJ.
C.J. Black on the inside with a nice catch. Watch Victor take a look in there, and there's Black, and Mackey has to come inside and help. When they double team on Victor, it opens it up on the backside. That rotation has to come from Mackey. He's late getting there, and C.J. Black very tough to block from there.
And speaking of tough, Black is tough at the free throw line this year. 83% shooter from that stripe. Third in the SEC in free throw. Shows you how much Mackey goes to the glass to draw those fouls.
Strength of his game. I mean, not only is he a good shooter, but also his ability to take it in there. And, of course, he's handling the ball most of the time. Eddie Fogler knows he's his chief offensive threat.
Rigas Nix now into the game for the Gamecocks.
Zone defense by the Volunteers. Well, look at Lee out front. Long arms, tough to pass around.
But Mack, what a pass down low. Gallman can't finish. Gallman again can't finish. Wow, what an assist that would have been from Mackey.
Boy, did he ever throw a bullet inside. Gallman fortunate to get it back for South Carolina.
Nix again, knifes in. That ball swatted away by Black. Here comes Tennessee on a run. Harris gives it up this time to Wharton. Wharton drives, and that's blocked away out of bounds.
South Carolina with their 5th block. Is that correct? I think that's their 5th block inside. 4th. Make that their 4th.
Stay tuned at halftime for Bell South's You Call the Play feature. A look at big plays from SEC games past.
Look at Eddie Fogler. Tell you what, he's really working to win this game today. He'd like to have this one. They were totally embarrassed by this Volunteer team in Knoxville earlier.
Black working hard inside. That ball swatted away. And Ali picks up a foul as he really clubs beat.
Black tried again there. Kinlock with a nice look, and you're going to see the foul committed here as Mackey gets chopped down.
And now a technical foul has been called. Andre Patillo, I think, has teed up Tony Harris. That didn't take long. The ball came in bounds, and Andre Whammo hit the tee. He looked right at Tony Harris when he did it. Harris was standing in midcourt. So Carolina trying to make this a profitable trip with the 2 free throws already in the bank.
Freshman Aaron Lucas handling the ball out front for South Carolina.
Davis in the lane, a pull-up. Good! Nice play by Herbert and Davis.
How about that for a move, huh? Good, strong power move right across the lane.
So the 4-point trip for Davis opens up a 7-point lead for the Gamecocks. The biggest of the lead of the day for Carolina. Brandon Wharton's been quiet, only 2 points. Gives it off down low to Black. Nice play.
In very tight company, I might add. Tough pass by Wharton and a good catch by Black.
Black's first basket of the day. Turnaround jumper, baseline, tough shot, no good. Johnson can't finish, and now Tennessee brings it back. Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. A 5-point lead for South Carolina. Harris spins down the lane. Tough shot. Didn't get the bank, but will go to the line. He was fouled on the play.
The experience right there of Tony Harris turning the freshman Aaron Lucas sideways. He came back down in there. Whenever you got a guy like Harris, Harris is really adept pushing the ball down into the defense and getting around his man. Nobody was there to help, and Lucas fouled him as he went up for the basket.
Everybody talks about Tony Harris and his assist and his scoring. He led the team in rebounding the other night against Ole Miss. Had 8 of them in Tennessee's big comeback win. That's his most rebounds of the season. That's his first point today.
Bob, you know, alternately, he can be the most exciting and most frustrating player probably for a coach of anybody in the Southeastern Conference. Gets himself into some very tough positions. And I know Jerry Green gets upset with that, but he also is very electrifying in the open court. I mean, he can make some great passes and put on some super moves.
Harris hit them both, and Tennessee clawing back. Down by 7 a moment ago. Tennessee has cut the Carolina lead to 3. Has just become a member of the 1,568 point club and 300 assists. You see the other members of the team with over 1,500 points and 300 assists. Allen Houston, Michael Brooks, Fred Jenkins. So an exclusive club in Tennessee basketball with that assist earlier.
Good screen by Kinlock that time. He wants to look inside. Reluctant to put it on the floor. Mackey almost lost that ball. Davis threw to his outside hand.
Now they have Rashard Lee on him, so a little bit of size here. From the corner, jump shot is no good that time by Ross. And Tennessee down 3 with the ball. Pass kicked as B.J. Mackey got the kick on the pass intended down. A tournament in UConn has held off Miami 69-58.
Connecticut's a really good basketball team, Bob. I've had a chance to see them play a couple of times this year. As much as I like Duke, I think Connecticut is right there with them.
When you talk about Ohio State, they're one of the surprise teams too in the conference. Rashard Lee with a nice move. He's having a big first half. That's 9 points, and it's a 1-point game.
And all of that off the bench.
Mackey fakes the shot, kicks it over to Davis. Over Tony Harris's hand. A 3 again.
You know, that might have helped him a little bit because it made him get the ball up. Harris made an effort to lunge at it, couldn't get it.
Wharton to follow like good.
Nice. What a pretty play.
Now we're picking up a little bit. 23-21. You talk about off the bench for Tennessee with Lee. Herbert Lee Davis has 10 off the Gamecock bench. Mackey can't get the bounce. Victor the rebound. Tennessee down 2. Wharton for the lead. Not this time. Battle on the boards. And Johnson gets it.
What a save by Davis.
Ross has the ball almost taken away by Rashard Lee. Under 2 minutes to go and a rapidly moving first half. Tennessee has never led. Carolina is led by as many as 7.
Little weave out front. Davis didn't give it to Mackey. Let's see if Mackey said, no, he's going to back out.
Mackey tries to go down the lane. Does so and traveled with it. Ball goes back to Tennessee. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports and a use of the broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference, South Carolina. Tennessee's been knocking on the door several times, but has not been able to tie nor take the lead in this first half. Now down 2 this trip with under a minute to go in the first half. Now a 5-second call.
Got to get rid of it. Well, look at Victor out there on defense. Mackey almost lost it again.
Grant's open from straight out. No good. Kinlock tips. Second one is good.
Well, good effort inside. Damian Kinlock. Only averaging 2 points a game.
That's 10 offensive rebounds in the first half for South Carolina. That's also been a difference in this game. And the Gamecocks saluted now by the fans who stand for their defensive effort. Now Tennessee wants to take a 20-second time as Brandon Wharton and Tony Harris combined for 39. Wharton made 7 of 10 shots, 4 of 7 from three-point range for 18 points. Tony Harris also had 7 field goals, a game-high 21. Final score was Tennessee 86, South Carolina 57. As Jerry Green's team really put a whipping on them. Last year they split the two games. Carolina won here 81-51, and then Tennessee won in Knoxville 70-69. So Tennessee has won 2 straight.
Visit your local BMW center for a test drive. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Amoco Ultimate. You expect more from a leader, and you get it.
Surprised with South Carolina the way they attacked the glass. They're last in the league in rebounding, but offensively, they were going after the basketball. It's one of the reasons they've got their lead, Bob.
Yeah, rebounded by 7 on the offensive glass. The Auburn Tigers get tie with the Kentucky Wildcats because Kentucky lost at Arkansas this afternoon. Florida still hanging around. They're a half game back. And then also you see the Georgia Bulldogs, who won today in an earlier game here on Jefferson Pilot Sports as they beat the LSU.
Kentucky took a 2-point lead with less than 2 minutes to play. Now Tennessee has a decision to make. Should they work it inside and try to tie the score, or go for the home run ball and take the 3? You call the play.
Time while the league's
Balls have their plan. Brandon Wharton shoots a 3 but misfires. Tennessee gets a long rebound. They work the ball back to Wharton, who drains the 3-pointer to give the Vols a 47-46 win over Kentucky. Their first win in Lexington in 20 years. You Call the Play has been a presentation of Bell South.
Tennessee trailing at halftime to South Carolina 25-24. And this reminder, you can go online. It's been the bench from both teams.
It has indeed. Let's take a look at the first half. The two guys that really picked up the scoring for both clubs. And of course, for Tennessee, Rashard Lee was the guy off of the bench. He had 9 points, 2 threes, and you can see right here the nice move down inside as Lee gets another basket. 9 points for him. The point shooting really gives Carolina the lead. Well, you can see that what I think really is the telling story there, that bench points, but the offensive rebounding for the game.
Sports. And you'll either see Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, Wednesday night. Second half, here we go. Carolina on top by 1.
Tennessee opens up in a man-to-man defense to start the second half. Mackey trying to work on Wharton.
Mackey tied up inside, gets it out there to Grant. Mackey in the first half, 2 of 6 from the field. Grant gets bumped and traveled as he goes to the baseline.
Grant's having a tough time of it today.
9 turnovers now. You see the scoring leaders. Rashard Lee likes playing against Carolina. He had 10 points in the first matchup, 9 today. Herbert Lee Davis off the Carolina bench with 10. He didn't score in the first game against Tennessee earlier in Knoxville.
Bob, what a good first half it was for South Carolina. That offensive rebounding. They had 11 offensive rebounds and 5 blocked shots.
They leave Wharton, who missed the shot. And now a foul on the rebound.
Lucas trying to take Harris off the dribble. Tough to shake him.
Strong move inside, too strong. Grant has the ball slapped out of bounds. Who's basketball? Looked like Black did it last game. Neither team has scored. They won 2.5 minutes in the first half before anybody could dent the scoring column.
Hard to believe that Yarborough and Harris didn't even score a point in that first half.
Lucas against Tony Harris. Lucas trying to get inside. Harris very quick defensively. Johnson hits from the outside. His second basket.
Not often you see him float that far out away from inside, but a nice move, and he got it over one of the shot blocking abilities of one of the best shot blockers in the league, and C.J. Black.
He's only averaging 5 points a game. He's got 4 today and gives Carolina a 3-point lead. Harris drops it low to C.J. Black, who has not gotten many touches today.
That's a good double team by South Carolina, and a good kick out to Yarborough.
Missed it. Grant rebounds. Up court quickly to Mackey. Working against Brandon Wharton. Waits for the troops to join him. Dump it down low, Gallman. Up, blocked away by Black. C.J. Black with the block. And Brandon Wharton pushes it the other way. Harris to tie.
Great shot. Harris got the screen. You cannot leave him open. If you are going to challenge him when he's dribbling that basketball, you've got to be able to fight over that screen. He's too deadly with that jump shot.
Harris connects on his 52nd three-point shot of the year. Lucas gets loose and scores.
South Carolina with a quick answer. The backcourts now have picked it up a little bit here in the second half.
2-point Carolina lead. We played 2.5 minutes.
Good help that time by Bud Johnson, forcing Harris out away from the ball.
Harris trying to split it, and they pick him clean. Mackey against Brandon Wharton, and Wharton picks up the foul.
Harris, there's the rejection, and Bob, it's a big one.
It sure is, as now he's the all-time career block leader at Tennessee, passing Reggie Johnson. C.J. Black with 152 in his career, and the lead is 3. Again, Tennessee has never led in the game. We've been tied once. Carolina's biggest lead in the first half was 7.
Grant's got the responsibility out there for Wharton. It's tough to keep up with him.
Wharton trying to fire, but he can't get it off. Under 10 seconds now on the shot clock, as Carolina's played very solid defense this trip. Wharton over Harris over the top, ties it again.
I think Aaron Lucas felt like he might have been too far out to even shoot that shot, but there is no range for Harris when he decides to let it go.
He's got 2 this half. Lucas to answer, way short, and Black can't hold on to it. B.J. Mackey takes it strong, can't finish. Now Tennessee with a chance to take the lead for the first time. Wharton, he'll pull up, now go to the basket. Let's see if he's fouled before the drive. Basket does not count. Foul.
When the shot clock is winding down, put the ball in the hands of Tony Harris. You know, I know that Lucas felt like it. I know the freshman, what he's thinking. He says he's too far out. He's going to put it on the floor and try to beat me one-on-one. And Harris did just the opposite, nailing that 3.
Fouls on Antonio Grant. So now Tennessee with the basketball in a tie game.
South Carolina looks like they've gone to a zone. They have. Pretty wide open in the interior part of that South Carolina zone. Look in the middle.
C.J. Black down low. Hooks it up there. Off the mark. They battle for it. Lucas and Black go down. Jump ball. You're giving them a battle. Getting set to set and do it again. Harris bangs the ball out at a respite. Herbert Lee Davis comes in. You see the turnovers now. Davis red hot in the first half. Tries it this half, and it doesn't work for him. Loses it out of bounds.
Kind of slept right off of his knee.
You know, Larry, it's amazing. Tennessee does such a nice job on help side defense, so you're driving to the basket, all of a sudden all those big bodies come flying at you.
Well, it's something Jerry Green, I know he works a great deal on, is trying to get his guys to rotate over when one of their guys gets beat off the ball.
And Tennessee's got those big bodies with Isaiah Victor at 6'9" and Harris at 6'10" in there right now. Harris again. He's red hot.
Yeah, he's picking it up. Brandon Wharton did it in the second half against Ole Miss the other day, and it looks like Tony Harris is doing it in the second half against the Gamecocks.
Harris now with 10 points in the game. 8 points this half, and Tennessee leads for the first time. Jump shot stays in. William Gallman, his first bucket of the day, ties it at 32. Wharton short on it. Now the tempo picks up just a bit. B.J. Mackey pushes it. Gallman, fall away, no good, and it's off the hands of
shooting threes. Tony Harris. Well, what a great player he has been for this club for the last 1+ years, almost 2 full years.
Didn't play here last year. He was hurt in the game at Columbia. One of the reasons Tennessee got pounded by 31. But he's averaging now 21 points in his 2 games against South Carolina. Kinlock, open and hits. Carolina gets the lead back.
You got a couple of guys taking shots out there that ordinarily don't take them. Bud Johnson had one in the first half.
Carolina has wrestled the lead back.
And the Gamecocks go back to a man-to-man defense.
Wharton for the lead. Short on it. Kinlock gets the board.
Bud Johnson did a nice job of getting out on Wharton to help maybe deflect that ball or even alter it.
Ran open. Too strong. And Rashard Lee gets it on the backside. Under 14 minutes to go. And Carolina has a 2-point lead. Now the ball goes out of bounds off Isaiah. B.J. Mackey finds a little crease. No good. Oh, look at the hustle. Johnson puts it up. He just took that ball right away from Rashard Lee and draws the foul. Good first half. Hasn't dented the column yet this half. Good look to Hathaway who slams it.
Well, Ross went off and left him underneath. I think maybe there's some miscommunication defensively that time by South Carolina. He was wide open.
Hathaway with authority pulls Tennessee to within 2. B.J. Mackey in the lane, in traffic. Might have forced that one just a bit.
Might have been blocked from the backside.
Wharton on the move and a hand check.
Down in, and Hathaway looks around and says, gee, this is easy.
I was going to say it's the easiest assist Rashard Lee ever got. He too. Lee's been active since he came off the Tennessee bench in the first half. C.J. Black and Hathaway. So Tennessee going with the muscle inside now, with Hathaway and Black in there.
Oh, what a pass by Harris. And the finish by Yarborough. Or was that Lee? Was that Lee?
Rashard
that
Lee.
was Lee. Oh, what a catch.
With 11 points, Rashard Lee on the inbounds pass. 36.
Love that pass by Harris.
Tie game. Davis again. Squares and hits a three.
South Carolina with the answer.
Davis with 13 in the game. Passing into Black. He has the ball stripped away out of bounds.
Perfect position. Great catch by Rashard Lee.
Tony Harris averaging 4.9 assists per game. He won't have a prettier one than that. And you see the block shots. Gamecocks lead, the SEC leader in that department. So far, it's a 39-36 game. Yarborough is going to come back into the game.
Yeah, Bob, I think that lob pass might be the most exciting play of all of basketball because it really takes two guys, timing just perfect. Harris going to the bench now, taking a breather. Made a great pass inside as Lee went up to catch it.
This is where Tennessee is really hurting with the loss of Aaron Green, because now Wharton has to go to the point while Tony Harris gets a little bit of a rest. So basically it's a two-man point squad now, and they alternate between that off guard.
Gamecocks back into his own defense.
Lee's open. That ties the game. He's on fire.
Rashard Lee has had a great game today.
Most points he's had in the SEC so far this year. 14 of them, and ties the game at 39. Lucas, he gets stripped inside. Gallman going strong, and the ball knocked out of
Pride right here with a win.
Carolina trying to get it in, has to call a timeout. Good against Kentucky, and also Vanderbilt, Kentucky the other game. Brandon Wharton on a run out, takes it in, gets the foul, and goes to the line.
Well, Mackey tried every way in the world to get up there with Wharton to block that ball. Good defense by Tennessee. Got them the ball as Wharton was streaking to the other end. You see the foul committed? Good protection of it, and Mackey's looking around and saying, yeah, it was on me. How about the play inside that time by Hathaway to slap it away? Good pickup by Wharton.
Good strong move by Brandon Wharton, the former football player in high school. Fires and hits the three-point play. And
I'm going to tell you
like
what,
that,
he wasn't taking on any limp rag either when he went inside there.
Tennessee with its biggest lead of the game now, 42-39. Huge play by Brandon Wharton, but that's what you expect from a senior. Mackey trying to find just any kind of room to get off a shot. Davis open. Hits again. Man, oh man, what a game.
I tell you what, he and Rashard Lee are having as good a game off the bench as anybody I've seen this year.
That is four three-pointers in the game for Herbert Lee Davis. He's got 16. Lee hits right on cue.
I tell you, these guys are terrific today.
Rashard Lee.
Lee got a nice screen that time. That enabled him to get open and get that shot.
That ties his season high this year. 17 against Western Carolina. 3-point Tennessee lead under 11 minutes to go. Lucas thought about it. Takes it in the lane. Over Lee. No good. Offensive board again. Gallman hits.
South Carolina really getting on the offensive glass today. They've hurt Tennessee a number of times.
A one-point game. 16 offensive rebounds for South Carolina in this contest. That's been the difference, keeping Carolina in this game with Tennessee.
Watch Wharton try to shake Mackey out there.
Hathaway fakes, strip, foul. Hathaway goes to the line. Second one bounces in. So Hathaway gets his first 2 points. I should say 2 more points from the free throw line. 4 now on the game for Hathaway. And Tennessee leads by 3 again. 47-44. Mackey a fall away. Ward got a hand in his face.
Yeah, Wharton did a nice job defensively that time. Wharton was not to be taken lightly there. He stayed with him step for step.
Davis knocks it away. Mackey streaking with Brandon Wharton and beats him on the play.
I think Mackey might have been thinking about the play that Wharton created against him earlier. He was looking for that three-point trip.
1-point game. Tennessee with the ball and the lead. Mackey now with 9 points on the day. And now a hand check foul as Wharton this time, and Davis bustling with Wharton inside. Mackey directing traffic as he comes down the floor. Carolina down 1, 9 minutes to go.
Good double staggered screen for Grant. Mackey decides not to use him.
And
offensive foul.
And a whistle away from the ball. An illegal pick set 18 fouls this half. And Tennessee decides to take a 20-second timeout. Jerry Green trying to...
At the beginning of the year that Auburn would be the club that would win the SEC championship.
I think everybody thought they'd be good. I don't think everybody thought they'd be great.
Most of the people I've talked to felt like they were going to finish second to Arkansas in that division over there. It's been just the reverse. Arkansas will not catch them this year. And certainly Auburn with a great year having won their championship.
Rashard Lee dumped down. Hathaway trying to finish. Can't. Lee might have should have shot that one. And now Black catches breath back on the bench.
And if perchance somewhere down the line Duke were to stumble, the SEC could have the #1 team going into the NCAA tournament if Auburn were to win the SEC tournament.
Johnson head fakes, can't finish.
That's a lot of ifs, though.
Yep. Wharton thought about it. Gives it back to Harris, the floor leader. There, you really like these guards, don't you, Tennessee?
Always have. Ever since Wharton came into the league, I mean, he kind of did it by himself, but then when Harris came in, it complimented him so well.
Victor trying to muscle it up there, no good. Rashard Lee gets it. They reset the shot clock. So Tennessee now has been out rebounded on the offensive glass. They try and counter, and Harris hits another big one.
I'll tell you what, for a guy that just scored 2 points in the first half, as he picked it up in the second half.
13 on the game now.
What makes him so dangerous, Bobby, is if you back off of him because you're afraid he's going to take you on the dribble, he could shoot that three.
Harris with 3 3-pointers this half. Grant working against Lee.
That one never had a chance. Never got above the rim.
You kind of missed my Civil War reference there.
I did indeed. I got it. Grant against Lee. I did.
7 minutes to go. Our producer Roger Roebuck is a Civil War buff. He didn't. I hope he caught that one. That was kind of for his benefit. Here's Rashard Lee. Open. Bullseye. What a game for Rashard Lee. That is 20 points for Lee. Tennessee with its biggest lead, 53-46. Mackey hits, he counters.
Well, anytime South Carolina needs a big basket, he's usually the guy that gets it for them.
There, that was a huge basket by Mackey because Tennessee was getting ready to take control of it.
They were indeed.
Harris dumped down, Isaiah Victor.
Nowhere to go. Good double team that time by the Gamecocks.
There's Wharton. Too strong. Victor on the glass.
Offensive rebounding now, a big part of this game, and Tennessee getting it done with Victor inside. Somebody forgot a blockout responsibility.
There are those big bodies at Tennessee. They just bang on you all game and they wear you down.
Tell you that, the combination of Harris and Lee offensively have really hurt the Gamecocks in this second half.
Tennessee with the outside shooting of Harris, Wharton, and Rashard Lee.
Harris with 13 points, 11 in the second half. Rashard Lee has 20. He has 11 in the second half.
B.J. Mackey trying to figure out a way to get some offense generated for this team. Mackey with 4 seconds on the shot clock, short on it. Harris lost it to Lucas.
Lucas could have taken one there and passed it up.
Pass down low. Johnson working on Torrey Harris. Whistle. And a bumping foul they're going to call on Torrey Harris. So Jerry was thinking before the foul, the shot clock should have run out. But I thought Mackey's shot did hit the rim.
Wharton's on the floor. Couldn't get up.
Tennessee's help defense is very good.
Look at Torrey Harris. That's going to be an offensive foul. That is great defense by Tennessee.
Wharton was there to draw it. They knew Mackey was trying to shake free to get a shot. Tennessee's defense concentrating, focusing on Mackey. Wharton there to draw it, and good help that time by Torrey Harris.
4 fouls on B.J. Mackey. 5 minutes to go. Tennessee leads by 6.
Not much of a hurry right now. Jerry Green probably wanting to slow this offense down.
He's been really wanting to do it all season long. He says they get into a hurry. When they hurry, that's when they got the problems. And now there's a foul. And Isaiah Victor at the line nails it. Victor, interesting story. Of course, recruited out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Had some grade situations they had to get ready for and fixed. His first year at Tennessee, he redshirted. And while it was difficult at the time, I think that's a good move for Isaiah Victor because he's only a sophomore and is getting bigger and stronger with every game.
Leads his team in rebounding and field goal percentage.
57-49. Mackey.
Well, look at Wharton recover. Took the fake that time and still was able to get back in time to shut down Mackey.
Mackey's got 12, but he has worked for everything he's gotten today against this Tennessee defense. Davis nowhere to go. Found Gallman underneath somehow. That's rejected by Lee. So he gets into the block.
I'm going to tell you, the Tennessee defense in the last 3 minutes has been as good as any part of this season. They have really shut down South Carolina.
You know, they've done it very well on the road. The wins at Ole Miss, the win at Kentucky. When you can play defense, Larry, you got a chance to win, though.
Absolutely. And then you hope your offense comes around, and it has in the second half.
Tony Harris, jitterbugging. That's a tough pass through the lane, and South Carolina wrestles it out of there. B.J. Mackey on the move. All the way, stripped by Brandon Wharton. No call. Tennessee, the number is good. Good pass.
Oh, what a great pass that was by Wharton. One of the toughest passes to make is on the run, a bounce pass to a streaking teammate on the right side, and he just delivered it right on the money.
Rashard Lee with 22 points today. Herbert Lee Davis, baseline jumper won't.
With his 21st and 22nd point of the afternoon, well, that was outstanding. Look at Lee again grabbing this pass. Brandon Wharton laying it out there in front of him.
You know, Rashard Lee's a player. When he's good, he's really good. And when he's off, he really struggles. I mean, he's had a couple of games, 3 games in the SEC, hadn't scored anything. This game, he's got 22. But usually, if he comes out and hits that first shot, look out. And that was the case today. 3 minutes to go.
Well, they're really making it difficult on the Gamecocks to even try to get open.
You know, Tennessee doesn't get enough credit for its defense. They've been pretty solid there all season.
They have. Yes, I agree with that.
Lucas, tough double clutch, no good. Now they've had some breakdowns in some games.
Yeah, that's right. They have. But for the most part, I would say on a season-wide basis, you got to say their defense is probably the one thing that's been consistently good for them. Had a breakdown down in Florida in the game in Gainesville.
Right, and had a bad home game against Mississippi State. But other than that, when you hold Kentucky to 46 in Rupp Arena, you're playing pretty good defense. Brandon Wharton. Now they're just down to the lead. Wharton with 13, and Tennessee has opened up a 13-point advantage.
Bob, what a big win this will be for Tennessee to pick up back-to-back wins against Ole Miss and South Carolina on the road.
And a road game coming up Tuesday at Georgia. If the Volunteers could sweep all 3 of those, that would really put pressure on Kentucky because the Cats come to town to knock. Lucas trying to get it in. The pass intercepted by Rashard Lee. He's been everywhere today.
Well, once again, the defense picks up the ball.
15 turnovers.
Harris trying to call a play out front. Lucas is having a difficult time staying with him. There's the man.
Wharton. Nope, not this time. Gallman goes up strong. Carolina's got to score in bunches here. Down 10. They've scored 25 in the first, 24 this half. Davis, not the touch. Gallman short arms it. And Harris comes out of there with it. 1:10 to go in the game. 62-49.
1 minute remaining.
Now 1 minute. Tennessee trying to move to 18-7 on the year, and their 10th SEC win, which would be the most since the conference was split into divisions. Harris out.
Oh, is he tough? What a second half for Tony Harris.
Tony Harris bangs that one home, and it's 65-49. Second half has been terrific for Tennessee. Solid recruiting class coming in. A couple of coaches' sons he has signed. And so he's excited about the prospects. Now just trying to survive what has just been a nightmarish season. He admitted earlier he overscheduled a bit this season, thought his team could take it. As it proves they really couldn't do it. And the suspensions and injuries have just really hampered this season at South Carolina. And you think just 2 years ago this was an SEC championship club.
They'll be back again.
Yep, they will. Richard Lee trying to put a topping on it. Doesn't. Tennessee might just run the clock out. 7 seconds to go. 5. Richard Lee going to look at the clock. Carolina's not fouling. Tennessee's not shooting. And move over Kentucky. There is a tie at the top of the SEC East as Tennessee explodes in the second half as the Volunteers down 1 at halftime win it by 15 over the Gamecocks. Tennessee takes it 65-50. Now a word from your local SEC station.
Everything we do is to keep you moving. And by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide understands that every driver is different. So for insurance coverage and financial services that meet your needs, call a Nationwide insurance agent today and get Nationwide on your side.
Our Nationwide Insurance Scholar Athlete of the Week is forward John Nordine of the Georgia Bulldogs. 65-50 to pull into a first-place tie in the SEC East. Larry Conley now standing by with a very happy coach.
Well, Jerry, you picked up with a 15-point win here in Columbia today, but the first half was a little tough for you. You must have liked the second half a little better.
Well, I thought we played a lot better the second half. Defensively, we'd given up 11 offensive rebounds at the half and just had not scored well, 33% from the floor. But I felt we'd get it going offensively, and they were doing a great job on Brandon Wharton.
Jerry, one of the things that Bob and I talked a great deal about, particularly in the second half, your club, for the most part, has been very consistent on defense this year.
And very inconsistent on offense this year. And I think it's a matter of us trying to balance it out. Tony made some shots tonight. I thought Richard came in and did a great job for us. We got the ball inside. They're double teaming it, so that somebody's got to be open on the perimeter. And I thought we threw it back out of there and got good shots after throwing it back out from the double team.
Would you say the strength of one of your clubs this year, one of them is the fact that you've got a great bench, and today it really came up front?
I thought we really played good the second half, made some shots and run our patterns a little bit better. And I thought defensively they were very good early and made some tough shots, especially Davis. He's averaging 7 or 8 a game and came up with 14 there about halfway through the second half. But a little bit better offensively. If we keep the offense consistent and continue to work with it, our defense stays steady, and we can be a very special team.
Puts you in great position now. You're tied with Kentucky in the Eastern Division. You've got one more tough road game at Georgia before that big matchup with Kentucky. Any thoughts about Georgia?
Well, no, but are you talking about Tennessee being up there at the lead for the East Division?
That's exactly right.
I'm glad to be there. It's been a long time since Tennessee has been in that position. I like the idea, and we've got to play good at Georgia. It's senior night down there. We've got to play really good just to set that matchup with Kentucky up. But Georgia's first, and we take that one on first. It won't be an easy game, I can tell you that.
What does Georgia present for you? I mean, obviously, you're getting in a position now. You know you've got to keep chasing. You two guys are tied. It must feel better to be there tied and not chasing anymore.
Well, I think it does give us some comfort, a relief. Our destiny's in our own hands. I think that's the key. And Jumaine Jones and as athletic they are down at Georgia, Gigi Smith, such a great leader, and it's going to be a real challenge for us.
Okay, Jerry, thanks. All right. Bob?
All right, Larry, today it's Tennessee winning 65-50 over the South Carolina Gamecocks. And we'll talk to some of the victorious Volunteers when we come back to Columbia in just a moment. Today, Richard Lee with 22 points. Herbert Lee Davis of South Carolina with 16. And Richard Lee standing by with Larry Conley.
I have both guys, Bob, right now. Tony Harris. Tony, one of your better games today.
Yeah, one of my better games. Started off kind of slow, but got it going in the second half.
Okay, Richard, how about you? You guys getting ready for Georgia on Tuesday or Wednesday? Or Tuesday?
Yeah, it was a gut check tonight. We had to come out, fired up, ready to play.
because we know it's a rough road down the stretch.
Okay, guys, congratulations. Bob?
Big win for Tennessee today. They're in a first-place tie with the Kentucky Wildcats in the East. Richard Lee off the bench to spark them with 22 points. Tennessee now 18-7 overall, 10-4 in the SEC. Carolina goes to 7-19. 2-12 in the SEC. For Larry Conley, I'm Bob Kessling. Thanks for being with us, and you've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports coverage of Southeastern Conference basketball.
$9,000. That's what you can save today on a 98 Ford Taurus or 98 Mercury.